Everyone, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. I am Bran, and this is my Frost Death Knight. So I wanted to put on a little video. I had some requests just to do a video about Frost Death Knights. You know, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? How to play? Just from friends and people that I play with. I want to preface this by saying that I am by no means a good Death Knight player. I don't really have a high rating. I can't really say that I'm, rank 1. 2K plus, anything like that. This is purely from the standpoint of a player who likes to play Death Knight from time to time, or has played Death Knight for a long time. Just kind of giving tips to newer players, newer Death Knights, other Bro Knights. Just, hey, here's how you can kind of improve your game. There's 3 or 4 things really that I want to touch on. I'm not really going to go into my spec or anything like that. I'm not really going to go into a whole lot about how you should gear, that kind of thing. This is really just kind of just a little informal chat session sort of deal. So one of the first things that I want to talk about is Death Grip. I've seen Death Grip used really poorly. And again, I mean, a lot of people kind of have their ideas as to how it should be used. I personally try and use Death Grip one of 2 ways, offensively or defensively. So offensively, I want to use my Death Grip to pull a mage back that has blinked away after an ice block or whatever, just to score the kill, or to keep them from getting away. I want to pull back a Resto Druid that has Displacer Beast and tried to get away, because I don't want him to get Broccoli form up and, heal everything. Whatever the case may be, I like to use it like that. I also like to use it defensively, and when I say defensively, I like to use it as a sort of an interrupt. If I've got a target on me that, or rather, not even on me, but if I've got a target nearby that is going to cast a poly, is going to cast some sort of CC, a fear, what have you, I'd like to try and cast it to pull them off of that. I mean, you're not really doing yourself any favors by pulling more people onto you, but at the same time, if you can use it to kind of buy your partner or buy another player or whatever a couple of seconds to not be a sheep or not be feared or anything like that, it could really help. The other 2 things I wanted to talk about, actually, it's kind of a 2-parter, is Soul Reaper as well as Dark Simulacrum. Both of those are really, for starter, DKs can be underutilized, and I mean, you could have a much higher skill level than I do, and I could be totally wrong. You could totally know how to perfect, you've perfected rather your use of Soul Reaper, your use of Dark Simulacrum. At that case, good on you, man. GG, keep being a Bro Knight. But for those of you not in the know, Soul Reaper is our execute. It's a little bit different than other executes because it's on a 5-second timer. Well, rather a 5-second trigger. You throw it on the target, 5 seconds later, if they're under a certain amount of health, boom, big deeps. If they're not, GG, you just lost a rune, and if they're already dead, you get haste. Now, with haste being changed with the most recent hotfixes, that's more of a good thing, too. So really, there's no reason not to throw it on a target if they're approaching that below 35% or if they're in execute range. And I also like to try and throw it on multiple targets, but that I'll kind of go back to that a little bit later on. Well, sorry, when I say multiple targets, I mean, just throw it on to people that I see that may not necessarily be my primary kill target, that may be, within kill range. Dark Simulacrum is the other one. So Dark Simulacrum is an ability that we throw on a target. It's on a 1-minute cooldown. It is on it's an 8-second time window that you have on an enemy, that when they cast something or when they do something, you get that ability, assuming it's a casted ability. So you can take polys, you can take fears, you can take cyclones, you can take heals, you can take bubbles. I mean, the list goes on and on. And it's just this whole Dark Simulacrum thing is really from the perspective of PvP, because I don't really fight internet dragons. I'm not really that great at PvE. I'm really bad at raiding, I guess. So this is assuming you're just fighting nerd lords like I am, because there's an entire different way, you can go about using Dark Simulacrum in PvE in regards to like abilities that bosses get to eke more super sweet DPS out of your class. So, Dark Simulacrum, using it in a pinch to grab a heal, grab a bubble, grab a bop, grab, whatever it is to just help your team out or help kind of push a victory, help you if you're soloing somebody or if you're, 1v1ing someone, dueling someone, getting ganked, whatever, the case may be. Using that to its full effectiveness is definitely going to help you guys out. It's just going to make your toolkit just so much broader, so much better. So, it's never a bad thing to look into using. The fourth, I guess, third, depending on how you look at it. The final thing, we'll go with that I really want to talk about is just situational awareness for a Death Knight. Because I've noticed one thing that I was really bad about when I first started playing is just getting tunnel vision. You lock onto a target, hey, that guy right there is going to die. Like, he is going to receive the DPS, my body is ready, you're going ham, and you're missing a lot of stuff that's going on around you, and, lo and behold, you get the kill target and your whole team's dead, or what have you. I mean, that's just, situational awareness is just good for Warcraft in a whole, PvP on the whole. But from the Death Knight perspective, kind of touching back to the three abilities that I talked about, Death Grip, Soul Reaper, and Dark Simulacrum, just kind of being aware of what's going on and using those accordingly will really help. I personally recommend getting yourself good nameplates. I use Tidy Plates. This is like the neon theme, neon icon, riffraff, what's up? And as you can see, this is just what it's going to kind of look like. It's nice because, when I throw my abilities on there, as I kind of, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit, get a little closer. You can see right here that, I've got my abilities ticking, and, when I hit them harder, and if I do other things, it's nice. Most of you are probably familiar with Tidy Plates by now, or you have your own UI setup, however you want to do it, that's perfectly fine. This is purely just recommendations for newer players. Super good thing to have, because again, while you're in the thick of it, it's really nice to be able to see what's going on as far as these nameplates and see, hey, this guy's casting, that guy's casting. And again, if you use Gladius or something like that, you pretty much get the idea. But using that situational awareness, being able to say, hey, you know what? This guy's doing this, let me just grab him. This guy's doing that, let me dark sim him. Now I have a bubble, let me throw that on a healer, or use that on myself, or what have you. Just kind of being able to react to your environment as a Death Knight is really good. DKs, in my opinion, are a very reaction-based class. We don't really have a rotation, it's more of a priority. Use these abilities, use these procs with these abilities, that kind of thing. Same thing when you're in a fight, in my opinion. Just being able to react and say, hey, you know what, this guy's trying to get away, or this guy blinked, he's gonna, go out into left field and try and, deep freeze someone. Let me just get him right back in here, boom, wail on him. This target over here, they're pushing deeps on this guy, or this guy's about to die, let me throw a Soul Reaper on him. Whatever. If he dies before your Soul Reaper ticks, cool. You still have increased rune regeneration now. So it's never, there's really not really a bad time to use it. Obviously, if you luck out, which will happen, and you throw it on there, they get healed back to full, and you just kind of fizzle out and lose a rune. No harm, no foul. But again, these are just all really just kind of things that I think you can do. So just to kind of sum up, use your Death Grip offensively or defensively. Use your Soul Reaper, use your Dark Simulacrum more, especially the Dark Simulacrum. That will really help you, in my opinion, kind of grow and kind of get better with your play. It'll kind of help your team out more too, just having those extra tools in your toolkit. And then again, just the situational awareness thing is just, I know as someone who is trying to get into more serious PvP. And I know that there are other people out there that are probably in my same shoes. It's a really good habit to pick up. Just be aware, because as the melee, you're going to be up in the front. As the Death Knight, you have the ability to, bring the fight back to you. You just use all these things to your advantage. And, that's pretty much it. Happy hunting.